How y'all doing this Friday night? I really appreciate you all. Thank you again. Shout out to all my subscribers. If you have not already subscribed, please hit that uh, subscribe button and hit the like button. It really helps the channel keep me in the algorithm, and I appreciate y'all. Well, we're gonna get off into the game right now. Getting straight to it because I'm getting tired, and I want to do one more video after this. But the judge orders rapper The Game to sell his Calabasas mansion to pay SA charges, and he didn't show up to court. He did not show up to court. I don't know what he was thinking. The Game loses appeal, owes SA accuser 7 million. He don't have the money in cash. Got a order to sell his house. Oh yeah, I got to do because Sean Kingston was sentenced to that. I think he was sentenced to 5 years. The Game, whose real name is Jason, a nice name, Taylor from Compton. Hey, I didn't know he was in foster care. Wow. But anyway, let's get off into the videos. That's pretty much what happened. He didn't show up to court, disappeared for whatever reason. He got to come on, stream your. I just don't know what you say after that.
It is? What did it do? What are we gonna call this one? The silliest and stupidest one. Face came out talking about you got that with the deal or something like that. Now I don't what that is they got into an argument on the bus. And when they get on the argument on the bus, then he turns around and he tells her once again, straight from court document, quote, what you can do is be a woman and shut up like you can shut up right now.
This is behind the bars.
You literally expose her bare his publication.
I didn't know he did all that.
Quiet. They kept arguing. So eventually, the Game got fed up, and he told her, and I'm gonna quote it again: "Get off this bus, ass strangle." So now he gonna strangle the woman and threaten to choke her ass up. You know, I didn't write this myself. Okay, I really couldn't. It's unbelievable. So let's go. First of all, number one, he took it to Adrian. You might have the White Castles or the local brand, something like that. He should have took it up. But he took to this, it wasn't a place to be intimate and be private. So he wants to get intimate with her in front of all these people. That's the first thing he did that, in my opinion, was a problem. I really apologize for her the simple fact is because she probably thought if she was going somewhere, not she probably didn't know what Adriana's was. Who knows? But anyway, he dictates it. Then he feels her up in front of her. Then she gets upset about the fact that he was feeling her up in front of a whole crowd. Then he turns up and he turns around and says to her, hey, she need a woman up. And then after she decides that she's not going to take it, which she shouldn't take it at all, then he tells her that
I don't know what's going on with Strand. We only 6 minutes in this.
And you're doing this to a female, dog. A female. Man, come on. And so what happens is it really stuff like that.
Behind the bars.
Puts his hand on another woman or even threatens to do so. Look, if you got to feel that way, then you need to. He should have got off the bus. That's what should have happened. He should have got off the bus. He should have went and got himself together because obviously he was acting outside of himself. At least I think he was.
He did not get beside himself. That's who he is. I don't really like how that guy narrated this. Man, I can't get rid of the video. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Let me get to this next video. But pretty much, he done lost his house because he didn't show up to court on appeal from what he did. And apparently, he SA'd this girl. She a pretty girl. I'm going to show you her in there. Just hold on. I'm getting to the next video. And then I don't pass the damn video. Well, where's the video at? Oh, okay. Here we go. This 50 Cent on the game. Here we go.
To a game, I don't know what happened. Period. He felt so hurt. He really looked up to you. How did you have assessment on the first flop? He's extremely emotional. He cool and we good. It ain't no drama. I ain't gonna see 50. Like I said, 40 years old.
Come on. Damn. Damn, StreamYard.
stage and he had it with Memphis with Jay-Z on stage. That's how he came. He just, I don't know. 50 promise like Nas, Fat Joe. We want to hold down G, you know what I'm saying? But like these were guys that I really not even down with G. It was hard for me when I was like saying 50 I get games. My issue with Game is I don't know what happened with it, period.
He felt so hurt. He really looked up to you.
How could you have an assessment on the person who's flip-flop the entire career? He almost bipolar. If you watch it, like the way he does things, like he'll do it like he's extremely emotional. He cool and we good. It ain't no drama. I ain't gonna see 50. What this nigga said? 40 years old. Then it goes to extremely, and he had an issue with Memphis Bleak and Jay-Z on stage. He asked me about Big Bang, so he could say I don't have a problem with nobody. He had problems with like Nas, like these were guys that really influenced my life. So I just gave you your record, and you say you don't have a problem with people who have a problem with me. It was hard for me when I was on Flex saying that 50 like
50 ain't nothing to play with. I need to change this title. So I'm going to put 50 Cent in here. Let me write that down. And change this title. Okay, I'm trying to get to the next video. Wait a minute, that's fast day. Oh no. Shoot, that ain't him. I'm almost there. Just hold up. Hold up. It should be coming up. Where is it? I hate when it takes us. I just be having so much shit. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go.
You are giving me $10 million. Jesse Taylor.
known as
Giving me $10 million.
Aubrey's in the game got tossed like a paddle. Loss of a lawsuit landed the lyricist laundered $7.1 million to a lady from his game show. An absolute flame bro, making his bank low, and we might possibly watch the game go straight pro. So let's unpack the shows.
This is wrap up.
And all make no all
Wow.
that gameplay. No, all right, enough of the rhymes. But I can scratch now. The law of reason. This is an interesting case, man. Have you guys been keeping shenanigans? Because there's been a laundry list of them, really, since the beginning of his career. But they keep getting amplified each year the game gets older. I mean, if you guys remember last year, he wasn't invited to the pop-out event, right? The biggest West Coast hip-hop event like that speaks volumes to the him in not the
He
best
ain't
of
Michael
places
Jackson.
by LA's most legendary faces.
Eminem song in the club. I don't hear Eminem in the streets. I'm just a better rapper.
That rant on Instagram Live to justify why he wasn't invited or wasn't at the pop out. You guys want to see a little clip of that? All right, maybe I'll throw it in here, or maybe I won't.
I've been in this motherfucker since 2000.
Can you hear me? Okay, it's back up.
Right? Because that's when I got signed to Aftermath 2003. If you ask anybody, anybody that really know me that's in this motherfucking industry, I'll go ask Dr. Dre, man. Like, sit Dr. Dre down and really ask that about who I am and my character and, like what he really feel about me at the end of the day as a man. So if you could ask Nip himself, he would have told you. And he did tell you out his own mouth what, I contributed, to his career. Coming straight out of West Side Cedar Block Compton, and Top Dog know what it is. Kendrick know what it is. Mustard know what it is. Ty Dolla know what it is. Dre know what it is. Know what it is.
And maybe years before this, he was dissing legends like Eminem and Dr. Dre, concocting 8-minute songs where you couldn't tell he was paying homage to Eminem or trying completely. Then saying in interviews that Kanye West did more for him and his career in weeks than Dr. Dre ever did in his lifetime. Keep in mind, Dr. Dre was the one who initially signed the game, and really Kanye West has been his sugar daddy, buying him chrome Maybachs and anti-Semitic mustache man sweatshirts. You might be wondering, with all these antics, where is the game's actual music, right? Like, if he's doing so much to make sure he is always being discussed on social media, whether good or bad, you'd think he'd have a product to promote, right? Well, there might be a deeper reason why the game has not been releasing music recently. As a matter of fact, there might be a deeper reason why Kanye is the one buying the game Maybachs instead of the game buying them for himself. As a matter of fact, the game might be homeless. That might be an exaggeration. I hope it is. I grew up on the game's music, and I really wish he stayed off the internet and maybe stayed in court. Because if he did actually make appearances, he might have not been forced to give up his home in Calabasas, valued at over $4 million. That's right, he's not signing it. He is by the court to. So let's go through and unpack what the hell is going on with the game, why he might be forced to sell his home, where he will go, how he got here, how this all easily and avoided. Chapter 1, She's Got Game. In August of 2015, a brand new show premiered on VH1 titled She's Got Game. The show was a game dating show centered around the game, where his friends in the industry brought forth contestants who would fight for the game's love. It was kind of like The Bachelor meets Love and Hip Hop.
I lost the best thing that ever happened to me. And now I think I'm ready to find that special something. I'm going to give her 100% of everything that I got.
Game is looking for love.
You're step into my life and take this journey.
And she's bringing 10 lucky ladies along the ride.
So did I, but at least this is
I did too. I didn't watch that shit.
The last game show the game was before he was the game. He was known as JT. They should have called him SB instead for Sad Boy, because boy is this sad.
I can't be with him 24/7. I'm sorry.
Sadida couldn't keep a promise if her life depended on it.
So what?
I can't get no loving in public.
No affection.
Because it seems like you always gotta.
But now let's take it to 2015, where the game has a little bit more confidence, maybe too much confidence, and he's no longer fighting his woman to be a better girlfriend. Instead, women are fighting to be his girlfriend. And one of these women, one of the contestants on his show by the name Priscilla Rainey. Now, remember this name because the game was about to make it rainy all over her bank account very shortly. Priscilla Rainey has a reign over the game sense. Now, it's funny how she did show in with, right? She would go into this. She had even been in a relationship that was on pause, a 7-year relationship, when she went on this show to pretend the show she was depicted by the game
Excuse me.
and by the other contestants as the quote-unquote fire starter.
Once you fire started, good.
So it sounds to me like they're trying to trash me in front of JCon to make me look like a fire starter. You know what? Let's go.
As with any reality TV show, of course, there's a bunch of useless pent-up drama, and the game is right in the middle of it, trying to figure out which one of these lovely actresses will he decide to make his fake girlfriend by the time the TV show ends. He didn't end up going with, but you could see that out of all the contestants, she was definitely the more drama-filled characters, to say the least.
You got some girls who
Want me to go home.
want you to go home.
I can't believe everyone's making such a big deal about me cussing out Sierra. She deserved it.
And this quote alone kind of foreshadows everything that the game would go through for the next 10 years.
I really like Priscilla, but something just don't feel right.
Now, while the drama and fighting, the conflict and the fire starting might have all been fake for the sake of the reality TV show, what most definitely was not fake were the allegations made against Jayceon Taylor, aka The Game, after this game show had concluded. See, was not chosen to be the winner of the Battle of Games Heart. Whatever this game show was about, Priscilla lost. But what she lost on television, she made up for in trial. Instead of paraphrasing, I want to quote specifically what is in Priscilla Rainey's lawsuit against the game, detailing the sequence of events that she is now suing for. And keep in mind, when I say I want to quote directly, if there's anything that YouTube will not allow here, I'm going to censor it with a different choice of wording. Now, while filming in Chicago in 2015, the game took contestant Priscilla Rainey on an off-camera date at a suburban sports bar. There, the game assaulted her by repeatedly lifting up her skirt, grabbing her bare buttocks and her privates, and juggling her chest in front of a large crowd of onlookers. At one point during the evening at the sports bar, they were on an elevated stage in full view of club goers. With the stage lights shining on them, Taylor lifted Rainey's skirt and grabbed her bare buttocks and privates. She tried to break away, but he did it again, this time lifting her rear end up and exposing her intimate parts to the gawking crowd. As Rainey struggled to push him away and lowered her skirt, he grabbed her bare intimate parts a third time. He also grabbed and juggled her chest for the entertainment of the onlookers. 3 days later, Rainey confronted the game about the assault. The two were on the show's tour bus with other cast members, and a film crew caught the entire exchange on camera. The video begins with another contestant announcing that Rainey had a secret date with the game, which would be cheating for the game show, and that contestant returned to the hotel visibly upset. Rainey responded that she told the crew about it, but no one else. The game then reminded her that he had instructed her not to mention it to anybody, and quote-unquote, don't mention it means don't mention it. A heated argument ensued. Rainey repeatedly tried to tell him that she had a problem with what had happened and was bothered by it. The game angrily commanded her to keep quiet. What you can do is be a woman and shut up. Like, you can shut up right now. She did not shut up. Instead, she described the assault in graphic detail. After an expletive-laden exchange, the game ordered her to get off this bus before you get your butt strangled, and then threatened to choke her up. In August 2015, just before the show's debut, Rainey sued the game for battery in federal court in Chicago. The game repeatedly evaded service and otherwise tried to obstruct and delay the litigation. 5 process servers of 3 states made multiple attempts to serve him with the complaint and summons. One process server alone
Wow, she's been trying since 2015.
California home. The district judge
authorized alternative service. In the meantime, the suit was widely reported in the press and generated a lot of chatter on social media. A magistrate judge set a settlement conference for June 16th, 2016, and ordered Rainey and the game to appear in person. He moved to reschedule the settlement conference, being concerned for his safety based on Chicago's firearm violence problem. Because again, don't forget, this case is taking place in Chicago, so the game felt unsafe essentially to travel to Chicago to go to court. At least this is what he told the judge. This past Memorial Day weekend, sadly, almost 70 people were hit with a firearm in the city of Chicago. Due to high volume of violence and likelihood of reprisals due to such violence, the defendant has grave concerns for his safety and for those who assist him during his travels due to his celebrity status. Don't forget, around the same time, possibly beforehand, the game had, for seemingly no reason at all, jumped into a rap beef with Chicago rapper Lil Durk. Now, because the game kept dodging court, never responded to the lawsuit, and instead denied all allegations, which we will touch on shortly, while Priscilla was demanding $10 million in damages within the lawsuit, she wasn't exactly granted the full 10, but the judge did rule against the game by default, because he never even responded to the thing to begin with. In response, Game got on Instagram and concocted a very long-winded, hate-fueled rant against Priscilla, and if he spent half this amount of time conjuring up his case in court, he might not be homeless today. But let's go through what he had to say. The game starts off. Let's get one thing very clear. That thirsty Gatorade mascot of a transvestite will never see $10 million or anything close to a penny of my money. Now keep in mind, this post was made in 2016. This is how the game felt after the judge did not rule in his favor initially. I think they read ahead that it's true. She won a judgment of $10 million, and that means that a judge, because I'm overseas, has given this chicken a chance to maybe be able to afford a lifetime supply of lace front hair glue if my lawyers don't respond to this suit by the 26th of this month, which they will do tomorrow morning. As soon as I'm home, me and my lawyers will leave this case like a box of mint on sale at Walmart. VH1 has a separate suit filed against them, but this thought that they will also win because, number one, this biatch Snoop Dogg's voice is a liar. She has a history of theft, fraud, PR, prostitution, arrests, and a lot of other TR, Annie, Panny activities in her past that makes this false claim irrelevant. Don't be fooled by these accusations or the dollar amount in the headlines, because I put that on all my favorite aunties. This God ain't getting nothing. Every on that show will tell you I never touched this chick or ever desired to be anywhere near her. She got kicked off the show, and as a result, she filed this late lawsuit, which was probably her intentions before the show was ever started. She was begging for my attention the entire time we shot the show, and was given the ultimate Major League Baseball curve ball, so that upset her and made her low wee hard. So she did what all chicks like her do when life gives them
thank you, D.
options. They sue you. This is really a crying shame. So at this point, I will use the crying shame emoji. See you in court, Mr. Rainey. And I say Mr. because your mustache is probably a bit longer than it was during tape beat. It's about to be, and that's usually when mine is at its healthiest. Now, it's quite funny to me that the game goes on to call her Mr. and TRN's Vestite and saying she has a mustache. But again, this is the same girl that was on his dating show, who he moved forward in the rounds and genuinely considered wifing up, at least for the sake of the show. Now, while the game is out there defending his innocence, Priscilla Rainey is doing the press conference rounds as well, appearing on Power 105 to claim that the entire show was fabricated, fake. They knew beforehand, before even taping it, that this was a concocted, fictional attempt at recreating the Bachelor show. Also claiming she was engaged to a man who she had been on again, off again with for 7 years, and took a break to go record this show with the game. And of all places she could have gone, ironically, she went to thisis50.com for a sit-down, but really a stand-up interview, because she was standing up, and revealed a little bit of her thoughts on the entire situation and gave us some detail on what really went down in her eyes.
Clear it up now. I'm not screaming. He did not me. But what he did do is touch me 3 times and told me, shut the f up before I eliminate you. And then pulled my stuff in front of a crowd of people in Chicago at a club with the lights on and people taking pictures. To the point that 3 cameramen walked set and quit because they got daughters and wives at home. And they said he's a piece of...
Now, these are some horrible allegations. And the craziest part is that the game did not take them serious the slightest. Again, he hated court, hated this lawsuit, treating it like it was unquestionable that he would ever be found guilty. And by November 14th, the case went to trial and a jury began hearing the parties' testimony, finally ruling in Priscilla's favor. In a response, the game attempted to sue Viacom, the TV network that hosted the TV show, stating that the show's producers casted Rainey, the woman who sued and then won against the game, despite a doctor's recommendation to exclude her from the program. The doctor reportedly cited Rainey's past arrests, including those for aggravated battery, as a reason for her not being mentally stable enough to be a participant of the show. And for those reasons, the game thought he was entitled to $20 Viacom, which included the payment he had been ordered to make against Rainey.
Wow. Wow. I had no idea it was this deep.
Of this case had forced the game to pay Rainey $7.1 million, primarily because he neglected the case to begin with. Now, you gotta think, even if you're a rich rapper, right? I'm not saying the game is rich or broke, but $7.1 million, pay that out, especially of California, where I believe the tax rate is around 50%, that means it can make $14 million just to pay her back. Now think about this, right? This was in 2016. How many projects have we seen the game release since then?
Not much. Not much.
Seen them a part of? How many to collect her $7 million judgment against the game? Priscilla took control of the game's entire independent record label, LA Prolific. She was granted any and all rights, title.
So she got rights to his record company. Wow. Any projects to get money. She shrewd. Oh, she shrewd.
Which at the time he had been promoting as his magnum opus and his final album ever. Now he's why he's building up so much anticipation for that album. When he become owner of the album Born to Rap, the royalties from the record, and even any salary that the game may have been paying himself through his record label, LA Prolific. All third parties who receive notice of this order are directed to pay an property due or to become due under this order directly to plaintiff, either one by check payable to Priscilla Rainey and delivered to plaintiff's counsel until the judgment is satisfied in full, the judge stated. Essentially, to eliminate the legal jargon here, what that means is all payments from the album, from the record label, from the game himself, go right as a check to Priscilla Rainey. Now, let's just break this down for a second, right? You host a game show where you're looking for one of your contestants who you bring forward to make sure the game actually lives within that district. I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments. Again, don't know fully how the legal system works here. Doing my best. Or at the same time, we hear news that Priscilla had planned to see rappers Calabasas home as part of her asset collection by board. This chick is really collecting the game's assets like Pope. I'm not saying she's wrong, right? Like, if he assaulted her, he's got to pay up. It's just insane the elaborative measures he would take to dodge this thing instead of facing it at the beginning and probably walking away with much less of a fee to pay.
Right.
He was hit from that private investigator with a subpoena. He was scheduled to appear in court on October 7th, 2024 to argue against the possible seizure of his home. However, of course, he failed to appear in court on that date. He continued fighting against the potential seizure of his home by asking the court to dismiss the order for sale of dwelling and order the marshal to release the levy. The game denied being personally served paperwork about the potential home seizure at all. Priscilla is accusing the game of transferring his home's deed of 100 to prevent it from being seized. In the meantime, the game does interviews where he emphasizes that he's absolutely broke. He owns is either rented or not in his name, and he has not a penny to cough up to the lady who has been chasing him now for almost a decade.
Well, let's speak about the lawsuit situation that you got hit with. That still hasn't gotten worked out.
Yeah, probably won't ever. I'm broke. I don't have a thing.
February of 2025.
Wow.
Court that Priscilla should not be able to gain around $500,000 in revenue from his record label, LA Prolific, which she does again have the ownerships to his album Born to Rap. amongst other projects and publishing royalties. The game actually took the time to get some lawyers to speak with the judge at this point, and they insisted that the game does have legal rights to his home, asserting that he has lived there continuously. They argue that residency status should grant him protection under homestead laws. Meanwhile, Priscilla, on the other hand, accuses the game of hiding his including a home through either WAC 100 or through shell companies and financial schemes, making any assets under its name, under the company's name, fair game for collection. And by May of 2025, the game officially loses his Calabasas home. According to All Hip Hop, a judge had ordered its sale to help cover the 7.13 million judgment owed to Priscilla Rainey. After Rainey fought a long battle trying to get Game to give up this home for quite some time, she had calculated the house should be worth around $3.2 billion, and her attorney wrote that there is no current homeowner exemption or disabled veteran's name whose house is not under his name to sell it, even if he does owe this debt. Well, the man
Wow.
Priscilla had accused of being transferred all of the game's assets, Black 100, did sit down with academics, try and explain what's happening, although he kind of fails to have a clear response on whether or not the game's going to have to give up his property.
The situation with Jimmy. What happens is, though, what happens is, I'm the attorney or something over there, got some type of vendetta against game on the attorney.
From my understanding, the house isn't in the game, aka Jason Taylor's name. I get he owes a debt, but how could it sell up a house if it's not in his name? How does that work?
I mean, just because something's not in your name, don't mean it's not tied to your name.
Now, keep in mind, this isn't just the game giving up his property, right?
Wow.
Let's say the house can.
You should have fought that all from the beginning. That was dumb. He was thought you was that. She got your ass together, didn't she? She got him together, didn't she?
Y'all remember when the game came out? I'm talking about the rapper, the game. Y'all remember when the game first came out? Hate it or love it, down and the dogs on top. And I'm gonna shine, homie, until my heart's clear to envy me. I'm Rap's MVP, and I ain't gonna do this.
Yeah, I remember that.
Hate it or love it, the underdogs on top. You know, I haven't listened to that song in years, but that hook is still stuck in my head. Right now, there's a lot going on. Listen, you got Shannon Sharp. She can't get.
You know what? I'm not even gonna play that because he just broke down everything. We don't need to hear that again. No, we don't. Yeah, you got to sell your house. That's sad. Just a couple more videos. I think this gonna be it. I don't think I can do another one after this one. She's pretty too.
He decided to take this young lady, Priscilla
Here she
Ray,
is.
out on it off camera. Day. He feels up in front of a whole crowd. He did not appear in court again. The trial continued without the game. The jury turned verdict. We're talking about $7.13 million. So May 2nd of this year, the judge issued an order to sell the game's home. The home is currently up for sale. You can go online and check it out. And here are some pictures showing you what the house looks like in case you got some money and you buy the game's home. It's currently up for sale for a little bit. I think it's around $4 million. The game was playing a game with the card, and you don't play games for it. Honestly,
I agree.
the game decided to take this young lady by the name of Priscilla Rainey out on it.
Mm. She held on to that lawsuit for 10 years, didn't she? Didn't she? So his house is up for sale. He don't think it's a game now, do it. Three more videos. Yeah, this gonna be it for me. Okay, I don't see that. Oh my God, I don't see this. Two more videos. Yeah, I'm done after this. Hold on, I'm tired. Yeah, I don't want to do that other video. Hold on, wait a minute. What is all that noise? Oh my God. Hmm. Oh, what is that video? I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, this is it for me. Okay, this is it.
Giving me $10 million.
Let's go. Who's gonna give you $10 million?
JCon Mother Taylor.
Also known as.
Nugget.
Priscilla was struggling, trying to pull her.
Okay, we already seen that. One more to go after this. We've seen this video. Yeah, this is it for me. Oh, I got funeral to go to. Hey, so the gang lost it all, running from a lawsuit. Lost it all. And if he did what that girl said, that's embarrassing. And he ran for this for 10 years. You can't make this up. at all. Mm-mm. No, sir. And a lot of people didn't even talk about the game. So I know he ain't got money coming in like that. He better go on tour. Go on tour. Do the little bitty tours. You'll make some money, sell some merch. You don't see that. Well, we got to get off on to Alicia Keys. And you know he lived with Diddy for 2 years. What y'all think they was doing? Oh, we got two. This could be it.
Been this motherfucker since 2003, right? Because that's when I got signed to Aftermath 2003. If you ask anybody, anybody that really know me that's in this motherfucker industry, go ask Dr. Dre, man. Like, sit Dr. Dre down and really ask that about who I am and my character and, like what he really feel about me at the end of the day as a man. Too much 56, not enough West Coast rap. 56. When have you ever heard an Eminem song in the club? I don't hear Eminem in the streets. I'm just a better rapper. I can't get no love in public. No facts, no
Because it seems like you always
no.
got to, you weren't giving me $10 million.
Let's go. Who can give you $10 million?
Jayceon Mother Taylor.
Also known as
The Game. It's giving me $10 million.
It all started with what was supposed to be a fake move, a VH1 dating show starring The Game.
We ain't got to go back into that. But he sure is giving her $10 million. Remember, I just said he lived with Diddy for 2 years, and here it goes. This is our last one.
Game's mom, he started a male exotic club. What we used to do, we used to get guys that's just come fresh out of jail. They was bumped up and they, and get a job. But hey, if they look good, they've been working out.
I started kicking it with Diddy, right? I ran around with Diddy for 2 years. And Diddy, we never went to the studio one time.
When the news dropped that Diddy's homes in Miami and LA had been raided by federal agents, the internet lit up like wildfire. People weren't just talking about the usual music industry drama. This was something way darker, something that had folks straight up sweating. And one of those names floating around real heavy was none other than The Game. The talk is, Game's not just nervous. He's in full-blown panic mode, because allegedly there might be more than one private tape floating around with his name all over it. Tapes tied to Diddy, and they ain't got nothing to do with music.
I started kicking it with Diddy, right? I ran around with Diddy for 2 years, damn near. And this Diddy, we never went to the studio one time, but he was like, yo, should demo that. You know, bad boy, like, hey, Playboy, hey, here go watch Playboy, here go change Playboy. I'm like, yo, we ever gonna rap? He's like, nah. Hey, yo, with the jet lead at 5. We going to Miami, Playboy. We going to, you know what I'm saying? We going to New York. We in ATL.
Let me change this title.
Everywhere with Diddy.
Whispers started spreading fast, connecting the dots between old interviews, suspicious friendships, and luxury gifts that never made sense. And now, it's all bubbling back up to the surface with this federal investigation. Now let's keep it real. Diddy and the Game always had an odd bond. They were real tight for years, but what raised eyebrows was the fact that despite all their closeness, they never dropped a single track together. No mixtapes, no features, nothing. That's wild, considering both of them are heavyweight names in hip-hop. And what made it even weirder, the Game himself admitted that Diddy used to treat him to shopping sprees, fly him out to exotic places, and buying watches and jewelry.
Wow.
That's love, right? But where was the music? Why all this flashy generosity if they weren't even working together creatively? Something just didn't add up, and that's exactly why folks started poking around, questioning what really went down between these two. On top of that, there's always been rumors swirling about the Game's pre-fame days. Some of it's just the usual rapper origin story mess. Street life, gangs, hustle. But some of it way more effective. Back in the day, always ready to throw shade when it suits him, came out and claimed that Game used to work as a male exotic dancer before he blew up. 50 gave him a nickname, Doja, and dropped a mixtape cover with Game wearing practically nothing, supposedly during his dancing era. Now, a lot of fans back then wrote it off as trolling, especially since Game had clowned G-Unit by posting pics of them dressed like the Village people. But when Game's stepfather, Hari Sabu, came forward years later in a documentary tour of Compton and said straight up that he and Game's mom used to run an exotic male dancing club and that Game actually danced there a few times, that had people.
Wow.
Game's mom, he started a male exotic club. Jay-Z danced there maybe twice, and 50 Cent will not let him forget it. And somehow, somebody got pictures of him dancing in that club with his G-string on. Boy.
So now let's tie it back. You've got Diddy, a music mogul with a long, complicated history of industry connections, sudden generosity, and now serious legal problems. You've got The Game, a rapper with rumors around his early days and a mysterious 2-year friendship with Diddy that was full of gifts but empty of music. And you've got a lawsuit from Lil Rod, Diddy's former producer, claiming that Diddy had hidden cameras all over his homes. Cameras that were allegedly used to film people during private moments without their consent. According to that lawsuit, Diddy had stacks of footage, and some of it could be used to blackmail big names in the industry. That's when the conversation took a dark turn. Fans started wondering, was The Game one of those people who got caught on camera? Is that why he's so quiet now? Is that why his name keeps popping up when people talk about these alleged tapes?
Too much 50 Cent, not enough West Coast rap. 50 Cent. When have you ever heard an Eminem song in the club? I don't hear Eminem in the streets. I'm just a better rapper.
And here's where it really gets deep. The streets are saying that The Game's own family might be dropping hints. His brother, Big Face 100, who used to be tight with Game until they had a falling out, posted a photo of Diddy hugging Game from behind. The caption, "Maybe it wasn't my street credibility." That had folks spinning with theories, wondering what kind of bond really existed between those two men. Because Diddy's rep for throwing wild parties is nothing new. And those parties weren't always just about champagne and vibes.
That's
Some
right.
industry insiders have been hinting for years that Diddy's private events involve things most people would never imagine. And now that these raids have happened, all that talk is getting louder. People are connecting double lives, saying straight up that some dudes were out here pretending to be ladies' men while secretly being on the DL. Back then, people brushed it off as general talk, but now folks are looking back and wondering if what he had seen or been through firsthand Let's rewind to that 2011 Vlad TV interview for a second, because that clip is aging like milk now that Diddy is getting dragged through lawsuits and Fed raids. The game didn't bite his tongue when that asked these double lives, saying some dudes were running around acting like womanizers while possibly spreading diseases. At the time, it sounded like the game was just trying to stir the blood and high beats and pointing fingers at who he might have been talking. And with Usher scams later, that interview popped back up again. People started asking, was Game trying to hinder him? Was he putting someone close to him on blast without naming names? Now let's be clear, Usher's situation was messy all on its own. In 2017, court documents leaked showing that Usher allegedly passed herpes to a woman he'd been involved with and ended
This
up
is Rap Redefined.
$1 million to settle the case.
So we're going to end that there. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment.